once again, every time I go after Pearl, the only people who tell me not to be so mean are who? Who, chat? Who are the only people that tell me not to be so mean? To stop talking about how ugly she is and just concentrate on her points. There you go. TJ, you cheating. TJ, you was part of the fight, so you can't cheat. Anyway, white women. White women. Not all white women are this way. So anyway, y'all remember this. Y'all remember this I did this yesterday. Yeah, I did this yesterday. And also every woman who have a problem with me saying I feel nothing for these heifers, they're all white women. Not one black, not one Hispanic Latino. They're all white women. So today I had enough of weak white women telling me to feel sorry for other weak white women. To give full context, I'm showing a video. I have the sound turned down because of the music, but this shows grooms humiliating their brides on their wedding day. And this comes from women who have either pressured these men who don't like them to marry them, the women who received a shut up ring. And it's just public humiliation that is basically unacceptable in my eyes. And so this is what I'm not going to play all the video, okay? I'm just going to show you just a little bit. If you want to see the rest of it, just go check out my channel. And this is what I said to this video. I feel nothing for these women. You want to know why? Because during the courtship, they allow their men to treat them like this. Men don't act this way out of the blue. First, they start off with verbally disrespecting their girlfriends. Then they purposely become unreliable and or incompetent. And finally, they physically hit you. Sometimes hard, sometimes soft, like a light shove in the head. Those women never check these men from the start. So on her wedding day, he lets her know what to expect in their marriage by doing this. This is what happens when you don't teach people, especially your partner, how to treat you. And in the replies, I have some women who agree with me and about 2 or 3 who begin to relate to the victims. And this Natasha chick is one of them. So here we go. Yes and no. I think there is a collective responsibility in teaching both men and women how to have healthy relationships. The attitude that this is her fault perpetuates the old idea that domestic violence is private and no one should intervene in someone's marriage. This is a pick-me. This is a doormat. Let me explain to you. As soon as I see you as one, I have no respect for you. This heifer been caught following me ever since I got my account back. So I burnt this bridge. And by the way, she still follows me. She still, after all that verbal butt whooping, she still follows me. She's a doormat. So when she said the attitude that this is her fault, who else's fault is it? You saw the red flags. I'm going to tell this to any woman. Stay mad, heifer. You can unsub if you don't like it, but you can't call me a liar. You see the red flags that this man is disrespectful. This man has disrespected you. This man does not even like you, let alone love you. And all these women who be begging their man to marry them. When we gonna get married, when we gonna get married, when we get married. You nothing but pick-me's and you got a shut-up ring. And when you get a shut-up ring, you get kicked and smashed in your face. Also, if you play around with each other, this is another thing too, because my best friend brought this up to me. My best friend said that her cousin had this done to her. And the reason why her cousin had this done to her is because she did it to him on his birthday. Did you understand? Did that make sense? So on his birthday, he blew out the candles. She took the back of his head and smooshed it in the cake. His buddies was filming that and they put it on TikTok and it went viral. So what did that young man do? And by the way, I support that. Get that helper back. Get her. She let you. I told you, ladies, don't put your hands on no man unless you ready to fight. Keep your hands off men. You gonna smash his face into the cake after he blew out the candles. His buddies are filming it. They all put it on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. He is humiliated, clowned, and all that other stuff. Y'all already been planning for your marriage. He gonna get your ass back during a wedding cake ceremony. He held that in. And my bestie said when it was time for the cake ceremony, she was like, don't do it. Please don't do this to me. I spent so much money on this dress. I spent so much money on my makeup and my hair. He was like, baby, I love you. Why would I do that to you? Well, because, I embarrassed you. He's like, I'm over that. I knew you didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. If you think I'm going to do that to you, you must don't love me. If you want to call this off, you can. Like, dude played it good. He was perfect during the wedding ceremony. They come down and they are together. All of a sudden, they buy that beautiful 3-tier cake. By the way, my bestie is showing me the video. They all buy their beautiful 3-tier cake. They get the little knife with the little bow on it. She has the handle. He put his hand over her hand and they cut the cake, put it on there. And then they take the little piece and she put it in his mouth. And then he gets off script, grabs a big old chunk from the bottom tier, smushes it in her face, take the top tier and smear it all over her dress. And then said, vengeance is mine. And then she started hitting him on the back. Then he sit up here, he grabbed her by the arm, and then he smushed her into the rest of the bottom tier cake and then took the last tier cake and smushed it on top of her. Then he walks away, start eating it. The mother is like livid. But guess what? She didn't divorce that man. They are still married. So I don't want to hear this mess about this whole thing about perpetuates the old idea of domestic violence. You sign up for this. That's your fault. Now, even if I didn't know the context to that entire situation, I'm still going to blame the woman because men do not, out of the blue, start hitting you with cake. You understand me? They showed you signs of disrespect throughout the courtship. You just didn't care because you wanted to have your special day, which is now ruined because you didn't choose right. You should have chose better. You chose wrong. And most of these women are just pick-me's who got a shut-up ring. So there's that. So if you playfully, and I'm going to tell you ladies something, especially you little young ones, you want to playfully hit your man, do not be surprised when he playfully hits you. That's back. I don't put my hands on no man as no grown woman. Now, as a young child, yeah, I hit boys all the time. I was an immature girl. I hit them, smoosh them in their head, all that. But once I got to a teenager, I was like, I felt no need. And that's because my daddy told me not to. And don't put your hands on no man unless you're ready to fight that man. And I said, okay. So here we go. Then this is a good lesson. And TJ gonna cheat because he was already a part of it. So automatically, I don't like this heifer, right? When she said the attitude that this is her fault perpetuates the old idea that domestic violence is private and no one should intervene in someone's marriage. I never said any of this. I never said anybody shouldn't intervene in anybody's message. I never even called this domestic violence. And if anything, I'm saying, that's what you get. This is exactly what I'm saying. I feel nothing for you. That's what you get for being a pick-me. That's what you get for basically marrying a POS because you're so desperate to be a wife. Y'all give men too much credit. They are not complex creatures. We are more complex than men will ever be. And if you think it's the opposite, you ain't nothing but a bottom feeder. I'm not talking to you. Go away. So then I said, sorry, but this has to be said. This can only happen to white women. Boom, headshot. Hence why only white women are replying to me with excuses. You not all don't know how to teach your men how to treat you. This would not happen to Black or Latino Hispanic women. So yes, it's their fault. So then, of course, TJ walking in, facts. Notice the women who keep making excuses are white women. Boom, which is true. I ain't had no Black woman say, Tree, it ain't her. You know how much that makeup. No. Black women, Latino, Hispanic women. We don't do that. The hell you will? No, you won't. So then I said, because the only ones who are replying to me like this are weak women make excuses for other weak women. Oh, and get this, TJ. This heifer is so angry at me that she had the nerve to bring up Black women getting unalive as if I wasn't going to pull the FBI stats and school her pasty. That's another thread. I gotta go see if I can find that. If I care, right? Please school me. Are black women stronger because they fight back? Please school me. Are black women stronger because they fight back right before they get unalived or abandoned by their baby daddies? Now, this is when I know she mad. Because we're talking about a wedding ceremony. We're talking about a cake ceremony that this woman volunteered to be a part of. She agreed to marry the POS who smushed her in the face. These black women did not agree to be unalive. These women did not agree to be abandoned either. Now, did they choose a Pookie on some cases? Absolutely. That's another conversation. But I want you to understand, she is mad, so now she's trying to get me angry, which I'm not. I'm like, no. We know who makes up 53% of the homicides in America. Who you think? Wait a minute. Who you think you're talking to? Honey, I don't deny the FBI statistics. Now, if you want to get racial on here, we can do that. I love that game. And so this is me saying this. The men that are taking the life of these women are not smashing cake in their faces at a wedding, you dumb biatch. I love how angry you are right now comparing pick-me white women who married men who don't respect them to unalive victims. 3 laughing emoji faces. Are you going to compare this to R-word victims too? Becky? By the way, her name ain't Becky, but her name is Becky today. I'm not the angry one. You're the one who keeps calling me misogynistic names. Keep that in mind now. The names I'm calling her are not misogynistic, but she's trying to do something to make me triggered. And I need you guys to understand these techniques. First, she's trying to shame me about black women. You can't do that because I know who are taking out black women. And FBI statistics shows it's black men. I ain't gonna deny those statistics. So then she wants to sit up here and give me with the misogynistic card. Girl, you can call me racist if you want to. I'm not gonna buck down. All I was trying to say is that it is men who are responsible for their violence. Yes, women should leave violent men, but ultimately it is men who need to stop their violence. I do not support this statement, and let me explain you why. Men are violent by nature. It's what they choose to use their violence is what's important. I can have a pet snake. The snake has fangs. I understand that the snake can bite me. I understand that risk. But if the snake doesn't bite me, that's fine. But if it bites somebody else, unless they're in my home, that's not my problem. Violence is not a bad thing. I need you to understand that. Violence is used to win fights. Violence is used to protect a family. Violence is used to win wars. Hold on, let me look at my chat. Do you understand this? I'm not going to sit up here and emasculate no man. I'm not going to sit up here and try to make men as eunuchs. I understand their violence. It's called testosterone. What they use it for is what's important. They can use it also to break in a house if they're a firefighter and basically save someone inside the fire. They can also use it as a police officer when taking down a perp. But you're not supposed to use that on me. Here's the problem right here. If you use it on me and I still stay in a relationship and don't call the police and don't put you in jail, then I'm sorry. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. Now, all situations are different. If you are staying in a relationship because he says at the end of the year he'll give you $5 million, then suffer, girl. Take your lickings, girl, because you won't get paid, but that's your decision. So when you understand men, you don't sit there and look at them like they're the big spooky boogeyman and they're this beast and you're the helpless victim. I never had that mentality. Never, ever. And I never will. My husband can take me out with one hand. Am I afraid of that? Absolutely not. I wouldn't have married him. But my husband would use his strength. He would die. He even said this. He would die to protect me. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with the violence that men have because they can use it for protecting. It's that you can use your powers for either good or you can use it for evil. But if you use it against me and I continue to stay and not put him in jail, hey, that's your fault, girl. Don't sit up here. I'm not playing this victim stuff. So then, here go me. Let me read that back in context, okay? Sorry. All I was trying to say is that it is the men who are responsible for their violence. Yes, women should leave violent men, but ultimately it is men who need to stop their violence. And I said, 1, these women agree to marry these men who don't respect them. Dumbass. Something you do when selecting the losers in your life. Number 2, the women who are victims of violent crimes couldn't stop being taken out. However, those women didn't agree to marry a man they knew would humiliate them during a cake ceremony. Boom! Headshot! I failed to see how comparing these silly women who agreed to marry POS men to women who get R-worded, unalived, and abandoned by men. Yet your evil ass is putting them in the same category. You're not bright and you're a sheep, so it makes sense you would say something so stupid. And here's the finale. Can't you argue without insults? Women in DV, domestic, relationships also agree to marry their abuser. Does that make those women complicit in their own abuse? During the courtship, you know your man friend was abusing you. He marries you and still abuse you. Are those women, is it their women's fault? Hell yeah. Who here disagree with me? I'm going to repeat that. I'll die on that hill. I'm going to repeat that again. Your boyfriend was abusing you during your relationship. He asked you to marry him because he really want to lock it down. During the marriage, he abuses you. Whose fault is it? Your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. If you got a problem with that, not my business. I don't care. I'm so tired of you weak women coming here with your excuses of why the man that put his hands on you is not in jail because you love him. I love him. I love him. I don't care what it's called. I know I'm going to tell you what I call you, a dumb. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't care if you got Stockholm Syndrome, not my problem. You could have put that man in jail long time ago. The first day he put his hands on you, you could have put him in jail, and you didn't. And I know you had women to tell you to put him in jail, and you just said, I love him though. I love him. I love him. He just needs somebody to love him. No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. So if you got a problem with it, then you know I'm talking about you. And I want women to get mad because I need you to understand I am on a different level than you. I don't want you low vibrational women over here talking to me, and I'm going to teach you how to treat me because I'm going to show you what I think about you. Exactly, Stormy. Pick Misha's. Yes, it is your fault. It is your fault. 100%. You're the one who said yes, knowing what he's going to do to you. Anyway, does that make those women complacent in their own house? Yes. Do you think they didn't ignore signs too? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, they not only ignored the signs, they thought that as much as they love him. I've seen women say this. I've seen women when I was a cop. I can't tell you how many times I've had these women. I keep asking them, why won't you leave him? I love him. He just needs somebody he had a tough, now by the way, this is the hood, but I bet you white women do the same damn thing. He just had a tough growing up. His mama wasn't there for him, and he just needed a woman to be there and be patient with him and love him. Same women get that. Be the same one out the jail bailing them out. Save me your tears, Helfer. I'm done. I listen, when you as a woman love yourself, when you really love yourself, you don't put up with this. Funny how women who have high self-esteem and know their self-worth would never let no man put their hands on them, let alone disrespect them verbally. What is the difference between us and you? You're bottom feeders. We are top tier. We are the lioness on top of the mountain. Women have been groomed to accept bad behavior from it. Girl, please. Unless you are in ISLAM, I'm not putting up with this. Because none of those women in that video were groomed. None of them. Not one. And you pick-me's want to sit up here and compare yourself to women who literally don't have a choice. It's part of a culture to sell them, to give them away, and basically they've been that way. Now, I will say this, okay? When you got men that are going after young teenage girls who haven't had their full brain developed, we are not talking about those young ladies. Are we clear? I need to be clear on this. But I'm not going to give no grown-ass woman, especially those of you who are over. When does the brain of a woman fully develop? When we're 25, right? And all these women in these videos are well over 25. I want to say they well over 30. I want to say every last one of these women in these videos are well over 30. So none of what you're talking about is going to disregard my argument. And also it's a case to case basis if they're under 25. Because our brains as women do not completely develop until we're 25. I want you to understand where all of this started. It started with this. This is public humiliation. This is public disrespect. I'm not talking about getting your ass wet. I'm not talking about any of that. She's bringing up DV and DA because she trying to trigger me to get angry because I'm whipping her butt in the daggone comment. I'm tearing her up. So she's trying to see if she can make me mad with certain words. I don't get off my daggone circle, honey. I don't get off my circle. I stay on her like a pit bull. Did I lose my space? Oh, okay. I see where I am. Okay. So here we go. Here's the finale, because this is good. This is the best part right here. Can't you argue without insults? Women of DV relationships also agree to marry their abusers. Does that make those women complicit in their own abuse? Yes. Do you think they didn't ignore the signs too? Yes, they did. They did ignore it. Women have been groomed to accept bad behavior from men. Not my problem, okay? And here is where it gets good. Listen to this, ladies. No biatch. And you will take it like a good, obedient servant. When she says, can you argue without insults? And I said, no. You will take it like the little dog that you are. You are loyal and obedient to me, your master. You are literally proving my point on how weak women like you don't walk away from people who disrespect them. Boom, headshot. 1, you're still talking to me. 2, you're still following me. 3, you're allowing me to do this to you because you don't know how to walk away from people who don't like you. Boom, your self-esteem and self-worth is so low that it is in hell. You're a doormat. And even in this conversation where I'm clearly showing your dumb ass that I have zero respect for you, you're still here. Boom, headshot. Just like those dumb bitches in that video. Congrats, you proved my point. 3 laughing emoji faces. Go get some self-esteem. And then she finally shut up. Because I showed her who she is. I showed her you and them are just alike. That's why you got a problem with what I am saying. Because even during this interaction, you don't know how to leave someone who's disrespecting you. Just like those daggone corny ass white girls in them damn videos. That man has showed them that they don't respect them. They still said, let's get married. They still said, I'm going to get the dress. They still went on with the ceremony. They didn't walk away just like you didn't walk away. You couldn't even walk away on a date. You didn't even block me. You didn't even walk away on the internet. Just think how she would never walk away if I was a man in her life. I am literally showing you all how these women behave. Nobody with self-respect would let anybody talk to them this way. No one. Unless you are a doormat. Unless you are a pick-me. I'm sorry. And that's why I said I had to get racial here. Ain't no black woman gonna let me talk to them this way without throwing some daggone insults back, without clowning me back. I've never seen that. Even if it's a black woman who's non-confrontational and she don't get hood, they still will walk away. They go, oh, you talking to me this way? Block? I'm gonna block you, Tree. I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to. This is Twitter, baby. It ain't that block. But she didn't block me. She didn't cuss me out. She didn't put me in my place. All she did was start crying. Why you got to insult me? Why you got to do this? You're being misogynistic. What about black men? What about this? Okay, what are you thinking about black women and all this other? I'm like, you're a dumbass. You're stupid. You're an idiot. Kiss my butt. Biatch. Yeah, exactly. Nikki Wonderful said, that would be me. Just block. Exactly. When you love yourself, I'm going to say this again and again and again. When you love yourself, you will never allow anyone to mistreat you any kind of way. So there's that. And I'm going to say this and we're going to move on. But I need you ladies to be okay with not associating with weak women. Do you understand that that's a cancer? I need to get like Tree. It ain't hard. When you realize that men are in abundance and friends are in abundance as a woman, you have to know that. When you see things in abundance, you go on from there. All right, guys, let's move on to...